Fox News alert and a story we've been telling you about all morning. The search continues near Zanesville, Ohio, for dozens of wild animals that escaped from a private sanctuary, zoo, whatever you want to call it. Well, police found the animals' empty cages after discovering the zoo's owner dead. So far, SWAT teams have shot and killed at least 25 to 35 of these animals.
Well, joining us right now with more on this story is Tim Harrison. He's a retired police officer and the founder of Outreach for Animals. What could you tell me, what have you seen so far? We know 30 have been, let's say, confronted and killed. Where are we at now?
Well, it looks like most of them are under control. The situation, they have some still in cages. We do have some primates in the house. But right now, it seems like the area is pretty well under control. There still might be a few of them loose, so they're still telling everybody to stay in their houses. They actually closed schools today here in the area.
Right, because Tim, what we're talking about here, and this is something you're an expert at, these are wild animals. And when wild animals are not behind bars, they can be trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Their natural instinct will kick in. Everybody talks about when, like, Roy was attacked by the tiger, that tiger turned on Roy. That tiger just went tiger, and that's what a tiger's supposed to do. These animals will go in, their natural instincts will kick in. So the sad part about this is, first of all, they shouldn't have been in these cages in the first place. I'm really big on leaving them in the wild, and private people should never own these animals. You could buy a cobra, but you can't buy common sense.
Right, and you would have some experience with this. I understand that your friend was killed by a viper snake. And tell us the story about how you fended off some sort of a big cat when it was coming after two of your friends.
Yeah, what happened was there was a large mountain lion that was loose in downtown Dayton, Ohio. It actually was chasing Dayton police officers. I had to get called in on the case. I had to lasso it with a bull rope as it was charging one of the Dayton officers, flipped it over, flipped end over end, popped out of the lasso, lunged at me with all of its claws, and I slammed the dog snare into its mouth, 1 in a million shot, flipped it over, pinned it down, picked it up when I caught God's handle, and we had a battle was on. I had to get it over to the animal control van without being torn up. He was growling so loud, it about blew my eardrums out, but in the process, he peed all over me, and I felt like doing the same thing, Gretchen. I was that scared.
Yeah, he was claiming his territory, but he lost that one. Hey, Tim, why does it keep happening in Ohio? What's the deal?
Well, the second part about Ohio is we have no regulation statewide. We had something when Governor Strickland was in office, but it was dropped by our new governor, Kasich. We need to get something back in. Ohio's the #1 offender for these kind of situations, #1 for the sale of dangerous exotic animals, and the #1 for people having them in their homes. Yeah. It's just out of control. It's like the wild, wild west.
Wow.
No kidding.
Very interesting.
Tim, we understand that some school districts are closed today because they don't know exactly where these things are. What's your advice for people out there? This is something you deal in all the time.
Yeah, the main thing is if you come across a big cat, please do not run, because it's going to trigger its natural instinct to chase you and knock you down. I had a little girl in Texas where a tiger, she ran from a tiger. He just ran and jumped on her and broke her neck, just playing with her too rough. Don't run, stand your ground, get big, and please call 911. Let's get the proper authorities out there to take care of it. You got to remember, these cops and firemen are always the first ones to show up. I'm a cop and I'm a fireman. We got no training in this. There's no training for this out there in the police academy.
That's right.
All right, well, you do have some experience, luckily. Tim Harrison trying to get the remaining animals still on the loose. Thanks for being our guest.
Hey, thanks for having me on. My wife will love it. This is her favorite show.
All right.
Glad to hear it.
Thanks for the shout out.
Thanks, Tim.